The other thing that I really loved about being at the conference was that, in a sense, the conference was a sort of refuge for many of us who are trying to experiment with doing the craft of sociology differently, beyond the word, or combining the word with other types of visual practice, whether it be film or still photography. And one of the things that was lovely about being in the sessions was that you could sense that the people in the conversation that was taking place found some solidarity, I suppose, with each other in that sort of impulse to think, well, actually, as much as we live in a time where the life of the mind is in trouble, where the university itself is prone to all kinds of attacks of which are limit and can produce a kind of timidity and conservatism. At the same time, we're living through a moment when there's perhaps unprecedented levels of opportunity to imagine the craft of telling about society differently, to use Harry Becker's phrase. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed. And many presenters were saying, I'm not sure about this, I'm just trying this out, I'm not sure if people are going to think I'm completely mad. And there was the kind of reassurance of people who were sharing that kind of opportunity and trying to do something interesting with it. The other thing that I thought was wonderful about the event was that we didn't just talk about work, there was so much work that was actually shown in the form of films or installations and so on, and it was lovely to actually be around an environment where an academic conference could take on a slightly different, less kind of word-based format. Perhaps my favourite thing about the whole event was at the very, very end, after I'd done my kind of nerve-wracking big speech to a very big crowd. I was amazed that so many people stayed, to be absolutely honest. But after that, I went to see the Visualising Effect show, which included work from some of my colleagues, Yasmin Gunaratnam and Nirmal Puwar, along with students. And the work was just, the exhibit was just stunning, I thought. I really loved Nirmal's piece, which played on the idea of braces and the exoticizing image of the sort of Asian wedding. And it was very funny. I mean, I can't remember the last time I went into a gallery and laughed out loud. That was alongside other work like Yasmin Gunaratnam's incredibly moving poems about which were read by patients about end of life, really, and about the experience of The Prince and the Pea was the one that really caught my imagination. So it was just wonderful work, sort of sociologically inspired artwork. So perhaps my favourite thing in the exhibit was Anna Kvetkovich's Alphabet of Bad Feelings, where she kind of improvised. It was two takes of this improvisation, where she improvised going through the alphabet and choosing words which signalled, I suppose, an affective state, an emotional state, and the politics of that emotion. That was just fantastic. I loved watching that, and what was interesting about the way it was installed in the exhibit was that there were two versions. So, and it was on a loop, and it took me a while to figure out, it's slightly different. So I watched it about 3 or 4 times and thought it was wonderful. But I thought overall that what was really special about being in the exhibit was it brought to life artistically some of the kind of political and theoretical questions that we were talking about in the seminar. And it was a wonderful way to end the event, really.